When it comes to the Horn of Africa, two nations often spark curiosity and debate: Eritrea and Somalia. Both countries share a rich history, strategic location, and the resilience of their people. Yet they follow vastly different paths in development, governance, and daily life. In this video, we're diving deep into a head-to-head comparison between Eritrea and Somalia to determine which country currently stands ahead across several critical dimensions, from the strength of their economies and the quality of life their citizens enjoy, to the level of peace and security, the reliability of infrastructure, and even the nuances of weather and climate. Every factor matters. By examining objective indices and real-world indicators, we aim to provide a clear, comprehensive picture of life in Eritrea versus Somalia. Whether you're curious about opportunities, living conditions, or just regional insights, this analysis will uncover which of these two Horn of Africa nations comes out on top. So let's get started. Eritrea is a small but strategically positioned country in the Horn of Africa, bordered by Sudan to the west, Ethiopia to the south, and Djibouti to the southeast. To the northeast, it faces the Red Sea, giving it access to one of the world's most important maritime routes. Eritrea covers a total land area of approximately 117,600 square kilometers, making it slightly smaller than South Korea, but larger than the US state of Pennsylvania. Despite its relatively modest size, Eritrea is home to diverse landscapes, from coastal plains and desert regions along the Red Sea to the highlands of the Central Plateau, which are cooler and more temperate. As of 2025, Eritrea's estimated population is around 6.7 million people. The capital and largest city is Asmara, renowned for its Italian colonial-era architecture and vibrant urban culture. Eritrea is a multilingual nation, but Tigrinya serves as the working official language for government and administration, alongside Arabic and English, which are also widely used in education and commerce. The country operates under a one-party system led by President Isaias Afwerki, who's been in power since Eritrea gained independence from Ethiopia in 1993. The national currency is the Eritrean Nakfa. Despite its small size and relatively young independence, Eritrea has invested in maintaining sovereignty, national identity, and strategic infrastructure, although international relations and economic development have been affected by long-standing regional tensions. Overview of both countries. Somalia is another key nation in the Horn of Africa, occupying a larger geographic area than Eritrea. It is bordered by Djibouti to the northwest, Ethiopia to the west, and Kenya to the southwest, while its extensive eastern and southern coastlines meet the Indian Ocean. Covering approximately 637,657 square kilometers, Somalia is more than 5 times larger than Eritrea, making it the 16th largest country in Africa by land area. The country's terrain varies from arid plateaus and savannas in the interior to fertile riverine lands along the Shabelle and Juba rivers, and sandy beaches along the coast. Somalia's population is estimated at roughly 20 million people in 2025, making it significantly more populous than Eritrea. The capital city, Mogadishu, has historically been a vital port and commercial hub on the Indian Ocean, although it has faced security challenges over the past decades. The official languages are Somali and Arabic, both used in government, education, and commerce. Somalia is a federal republic, with President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud currently serving as head of state after being elected in 2022, reflecting the country's ongoing efforts to stabilize governance after years of civil conflict. The national currency is the Somali shilling, SOS. Somalia's strategic location along the Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean has historically made it a center of trade and maritime activity, while its vast territory presents both opportunities and challenges for infrastructure, development, and regional integration. Eritrea, though smaller in size and population, benefits from a relatively stable centralized government under a long-serving president, whereas Somalia, larger and more populous, is navigating federal governance after decades of civil unrest. Eritrea's capital, Asmara, is known for its orderly urban planning and colonial heritage, while Mogadishu, Somalia's capital, has been a focal point of both commerce and conflict. Both countries share access to critical maritime routes, though Eritrea's Red Sea coast contrasts with Somalia's Indian Ocean coastline. Languages in both countries reflect historical and cultural influences. Tigrinya and Arabic dominate in Eritrea, while Somali and Arabic are central in Somalia. Economy. Eritrea's economy remains relatively small and structurally constrained. Agriculture, largely subsistence farming, livestock herding, and fisheries, remains the single largest livelihood for the majority of Eritreans. Around 70% of the population live in rural areas and depend on rain-fed farming, livestock, and small-scale fishing for their households. However, despite heavy employment in agriculture, the sector contributes a modest share to the economy. By 2023, agriculture accounted for roughly 17 to 18% of GDP. Complementing agriculture is a growing mining and industrial sector. Eritrea is endowed with mineral resources including gold, copper, zinc, and potash, all of which have become central to its economic strategy. The mining industry has emerged as a dominant export engine. Recent reports indicate mining now accounts for about 20% of GDP and represents the vast bulk of the country's exports. Light manufacturing also exists, producing items such as processed foods, textiles, cement, beverages, and salt, though manufacturing remains limited in scope and rarely contributes significantly to export earnings. Services, including trade, transport, leveraging Eritrea's Red Sea coast and ports, retail, and public administration, form another component of the economy. As of recent years, services plus industry together dominate output, though given the expansion of mining, the industrial share has increased notably. In nominal terms, Eritrea's GDP remains small on the global scale. According to recent estimate, nominal GDP is about $1.9 billion. GDP per capita remains low, reflecting widespread subsistence livelihoods and limited industrial productivity. Nevertheless, structural challenges remain. The heavy reliance on subsistence agriculture, which is highly vulnerable to droughts, limits productivity, food security, and income stability. Meanwhile, although mining generates much of the foreign exchange earnings, it tends to be capital intensive and does not create widespread employment in rural areas. The lack of broad-based industrialization, limited value-added processing, weak infrastructure, and limited integration into global markets all constrain the long-term resilience and diversification of Eritrea's economy. Somalia's economy, on the other hand, remains heavily reliant on agriculture and pastoralism. The agricultural sector, including livestock, crop farming, fisheries, and related activities, is the backbone of the economy. Roughly 65% of GDP comes from agriculture, and a similar share of the labor force depends on it. Within this sector, livestock, camels, goats, sheep, cattle, alone contributes about 40% of GDP and accounts for more than half of Somalia's export earnings. Other important agricultural outputs for domestic consumption and trade include crops such as sorghum, corn, bananas, sugar, and various vegetables, particularly in river valley regions such as along the Shebel and Juba rivers. Fisheries, charcoal, and other natural products also play a role, albeit smaller, in the trade and subsistence mix. Beyond agriculture, Somalia's economy includes a growing services sector and a robust informal economy. Remittances from the diaspora and private sector services, trade, telecommunications, money transfers are crucial lifelines. These flows help sustain consumption, import capacity, and overall economic activity, especially given the structural limitations of formal manufacturing and industry in the country. In terms of scale, Somalia's nominal GDP has been rising in recent years. According to projections from the most recent data, Somalia's GDP in 2024 was estimated at around $12.1 billion. This GDP reflects the combined output of agriculture-dominated production, livestock export, services, remittances, and informal trade. However, despite this level of national output, Somalia remains a low-income country on a per capita basis, with much of the population still dependent on subsistence livelihoods, vulnerable to climate shocks, and lacking broad-based industrial development. When comparing Eritrea and Somalia, it is clear that Somalia has a larger and more diversified economy. While Eritrea relies heavily on subsistence agriculture and a narrow mining sector, Somalia benefits from agriculture, livestock exports, remittances, and growing service activities. Somalia's nominal GDP of around $12.1 billion far exceeds Eritrea's $2.3 billion, and its higher growth rates and broader economic base give it stronger potential for development. Overall, Somalia currently has the larger and comparatively better economy. Standard of living. The standard of living in a country reflects the economic well-being of its citizens, access to basic services, infrastructure, and overall quality of life. One commonly used indicator is nominal GDP per capita, which provides a rough measure of average economic output per person. Eritrea's nominal GDP per capita is estimated at around $565, while Somalia's is slightly higher at approximately $766. This indicates that, on average, Somalis may have slightly more economic resources per person than Eritreans, suggesting a marginally higher potential standard of living. However, GDP per capita alone does not capture the full spectrum of quality of life. Access to healthcare, education, reliable infrastructure, and security are critical factors. Eritrea, despite its modest GDP, has relatively stable governance and a functioning central administration, which provides some public services and maintains social order. The country's urban centers, such as Asmara, show better infrastructure compared to many Somali cities, and the literacy rate is comparatively higher. Somalia,